It's time for Friday night football action. The End Zone with your host, Bill Shanks.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to the End Zone. I'm Bill Shanks from Fox Sports 1670 AM in Macon. It's week 8 of the high school football season, and we've got 5 games to show you tonight, including 3 from Region 2 AAA and our Game of the Week, Mary Persons at Peach County. And don't forget to check the scoreboard at the bottom of your screen all throughout the show. We start tonight with Stratford at home against Mt Vernon. The Eagles came in undefeated at 6-0 after blowing out Griffin Christian last week. They are a week away from a huge game at Mount DeSales, so they wanted to take care of the Mustangs from Atlanta tonight at Eagle Field. Here we go. Let's take you back out for the highlights. Great night of football here at Eagle Field for the highlights. Mustangs go to work first. They're on the Eagles 20. Elijah Burnett, the quarterback, pass to Michael Lambs down to the 5-yard line and a first down. Next play, Burnett is going to keep it and dart up the middle for the touchdown. They're in for 6 points. The PAT would come up by Jeff Lanzer. It's good, and the visitors were up 7-0 on Stratford early on in the first quarter. Then Stratford on offense on their own 38-yard line. The handoff to Mac Baggerly. Here he goes. Picks up about 37 yards on this play, and a penalty would give them even more. And the Eagles were knocking on the door. A couple of plays later, John Mitchell, the quarterback from the 13, fakes the handoff, cuts to the left, cuts back in, and gets the touchdown on the keeper. And the Eagles get on the board right there. They get one more point as Joey Cleveland gets the PAT. It's up and it's good. And the Eagles tie the game at 7-all. All right, Mustangs back on offense. The Eagles get tough, however. Pass play to the right side, but Mike Fox leads the Stratford defense with a nice play right there. And at the end of the first quarter, it was tied at 7. Mustangs now on their own 25. Burnett's going to go deep. He was passing all night long. Finds number 42, Cannon Moses, a pickup of 28 yards and a first down. Now pay attention. Here it is, our Middle Georgia Orthopedic hit of the week. Greer Smith. Boom! Oh, that hurt. Yeah, he's going to have to go to the orthopedic place right there. Mt Vernon would go for a field goal after that, get some points. It would be up and good. And the Mustangs were up by the score of 10-7. Now Stratford on their own 27. Handoff to Baggerly again, and he is going to take off. Have yourself a night, Baggerly, all the way down to the Mt Vernon 17-yard line. But a fumble on the next play would give it to the Mustangs. They would get it back, but the Eagles would get it back after a punt. They would get it back on the 33, John Mitchell. Play action, wide open, Colby Pierce. I think he's going to score. Touchdown. Stratford, PAT by Cleveland. Coming up right here, it is up and it is good, and Stratford will be up by the score of 14-10. Mt Vernon would try to get something going. Lance would get the handoff coming up here. Watch Mason Elmore for Stratford, bringing him down on the 47-yard line. Eagles would get it back on offense on the 22. Mitchell again, Colby Pierce wide open. Once again, same play, touchdown. And Cleveland would knock in the PAT, and it was 21-10 right there. Eagles would up. They would go on to win this game easily by the score of 48-25. They remain undefeated, and they play at Mount DeSales next week. Now to public school football, the undefeated Lamar County Trojans in Macon taking on Southwest. Here you go, Lamar County, a very good football club. Here you go. Start strong, Lawrence Alston. Watch this run right here. All right, he's coming at you. Number 5, shakes off some tackles. Right down the sideline. Now he's going to cut back to the center, and he, in the mud, in the swamp, takes off and scores all the way down the field for the first touchdown of the game right there. The Trojans, Tyler Scandrett, will kick in the PAT, and it would be 7-0 Lamar County out on top. Later in the second half now, Southwest gets the ball. Jatarius Miller is going to launch a pass into the end zone, but it's intercepted. Nice play there by Lance Alston, number 14. Lamar would get it back. Trojans have the ball. Maurice Blutzer launches the ball downfield. Quay Searcy, puts the Trojans to the goal line. And then on the goal line, Maurice Blutzer hands off to Tevin Childs, who scores to the Trojans to make it 20-0. Watch this now. Southwest gets possession. Number 9, Jatarius Miller, the handoff. However, in the pile-up here, somehow, watch, number 10, Montreus Evans comes up with it. We don't know how. We didn't ask. We just got the highlights. They got it for the touchdown. Trojans would pick up the PAT to make it 27-0, and they would win. Lamar County 34-0. They are now 8-0, while Southwest falls to 3-4. When we come back, we switch to Region 2 and AAA with home games for Central and Veterans, plus our Game of the Week a bit later. We're back right after this.
Welcome back to the End Zone. The Drive of the Week is brought to you by 5 Star Automotive.
We're back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Bill Shanks. Last week, West Lawrence shocked everybody with a win over Peach County. It got the Raiders in the playoff discussion in tough Region 2 AAA. They had already matched their win total from last year with 4 as they hit the road tonight to make it to play Central. The Chargers lost to West Side last week and had lost 5 in a row, including 3 shutouts. Could they bring West Lawrence back down to earth? Let's go out and find out with the game between the Raiders and the Chargers. Here we go with the highlights here. As West Lawrence and Central, pretty good game here, but defense early on as the West Lawrence quarterback was trying to get going here. Pitch out to number 4, about a loss. How about another one? Central, the defense playing tough early on. He goes nowhere, shoved backwards for a loss. Then West Lawrence, one more time, pass play up in the air, and it's no good, incomplete. Warner Robbins would have to punt. Raiders could not move it. Then Central gets going. Corey Clark passes it to Tommy Cummings, incomplete, but then a run by Eric Thomas for about a 3-yard loss. Central had to punt. Then a defensive game all the way. West Lawrence with football, unable to move it. Kendall Wilson with the nice play there. Then West Lawrence gets going a little bit. They get going with a turnover here. Here's an interception. How about Keyshawn Sneed for Central? 40-yard run. It's going to be a touchdown for the Chargers. The PAT would be no good, and they would be up by the score of 6-0 in the first quarter. Raiders knocking on the door now, and they are trying to get on the scoreboard. They get one running play here, deep inside the Chargers territory. Not much there, but they come back, handoff to number 4, and he's going to get it on the left side for a 2-yard run. PAT would be no good, and the score was tied at 6 in the second quarter. Now here we go, our drive of the week, 5-star drive of the week right here. Central, running back Eric Thomas. He's a workhorse. He's going to try to get it about to the 15 or so. Here he takes another handoff from Corey Clark. It's going to run for a few yards there. Then Clark again, going to fake to number 7 and runs for about 6 yards himself on the right side. Pitch out now coming to number 7. And Thomas is going to get over on the left side, knocking on the door, and he gets in there for the score. And that would make it a 13-6 game right there. That's our 5-star drive of the week, and West Lawrence would hold on, but Central would lead this game up until about a minute left. The Raiders would come back and win right at the very end, 26-20 the final. Heartbreaking loss for the Chargers, who now are 1-6 on the season. The Raiders go to 5-2. Now to Perry, Veterans hosting West Side. Here we go as we pick it up in the second quarter of play with West Side up 14-7. Veterans with the ball. The quarterback keeper out the middle, Dylan Pierce, with about a 7-yard run to the 42. Good tackle right there by Harper. Next play, pass play, shotgun, red gun. Intercepted, though, by West Side to Quavius Walker. 26-yard run, return to the Veterans' 44-yard line. And West Side would get the ball and go to work. Handoff, Terrell Johnson, he's really good. Goes right, stopped by a bunch of Veterans defensive players. Pass play now, Noah Grayer, shotgun over the middle. Shannon Smith right there, 12-yard pass or so. First down on the 20-yard line. Next play, Grayer again is going to take off and run to his right. This kid can really motor. He gets in there for the score for West Side. And that would make it 20-7. Seminoles out on top. Now Veterans with the ball. Handoff coming up to Ben Thomas. Runs left. Couple of tackles he will break and get a 16-yard run to the 35-yard line. But the Warhawks had to punt. Westside would get the ball back. Pass coming up. David James, 20-yard pass. James gets about 12 more after the catch. Brought down on the Veterans' 12-yard line. Then Grayer again with the pass. Back to pass. Here he goes to James. Big stretch right there. Nice play. Ball on the 5-yard line. Then they would get a touchdown this next play by Smith with a reception for the touchdown. Westside out on top, and they go on to win it by the score of 48-21. Seminoles are now 4-3. They're at West Lawrence next week, while the Warhawks fall to 2-5. Up next, our game of the week, Mary Persons at Peach County. Right after this.
Welcome back to the End Zone. The hit of the week is brought to you by Middle Georgia Orthopedic.
Now, the best part about having so many Middle Georgia schools in the very competitive Region 2 in AAA is the head-to-head matchups. And our game of the week tonight is one of the best we see each year. Rodney Walker is the coach at Mary Persons, and he spent 5 years as the coach at Peach County back in the 1990s. So it's always a special game for him when he goes back to Fort Valley. These two teams arguably have the best fans, along with Northside in the area. They are fanatics who love their teams, and they pack the house in the Valley tonight. Peach County needed to bounce back after losing their first regular season game in 3 years last week. Here we go. The Bulldogs and the Trojans, our game of the week. And we start out with a great night of football over there. Peach County gets going on the opening kickoff. Little squibbler. And the Bulldogs are going to fumble it. Oh, Coach Walker didn't like that. Trojans get it on the 27-yard line. Big break right there. Then the quarterback, Kendrick, hands off to Williams. He picks up about 10. Then Kendrick gives to Donovan Howard. Right side, breaks a tackle, runs to the Mary Persons 5-yard line. Now to Marcus Robinson. Great player for Peach County. And the Wildcat bobbles the snap, goes nowhere. Drop for the loss right there. And then Peach would have to go for a field goal. Alfredo Cervantes kicks it up and good. And Peach County was up early in the game by the score of 3-0. Now in the second quarter, Peach County again. Kendrick drops back and is going to roll to his left. Finds Devarius Miller on the crossing pattern there, but he is rocked by Rico Ogletree. The ball is loose, and Kenny Foster of Mary Person comes away with it and runs it all the way back to the Peach County 10-yard line. The Bulldogs are trying to get something going with good field position. Alexion Stewart, the reverse, Akebron Rawls. Nice game, but no first down, and that meant a field goal. Hunter Lamb kicks it up, and it's good, and the game is tied at 3. Defense. Now, just before the half, Kendrick for Peach County. Play action, rolls to his right, and is going to take off. And he is going to slide better than Matt Ryan did last Sunday for the first down. Then Kendrick finds Robinson on a screen, picks up good gain, hops out of bounds to save the clock. Mary Persons would hold him to a field goal. Peach County would tack on 3 more from Cervantes. Up and good, and it was 6-3 at the half. Peach County, the Trojans would win this game, though. They would score some touchdowns later. Peach County wins it 18-3. They are now 6-1. They are at Perry next week. Mary Persons falls to 5-2, and they host Central. A big win, big comeback win for Peach County. When we come back, the scoreboard right after this. And don't forget to join me every weekday afternoon from 3 until 6 for the Bill Shanks Show on Fox Sports 1670 AM in Macon and online at foxsports1670.com. Plus, check out the morning show with Charles Olson and Daniel Shirley every weekday from 7 until 9. And tomorrow, the Saturday scoreboard with the legendary Bobby Pope. All right, we've got a ton of scores. Let's get to them right now. Let's see what's going on around the state of Georgia. Northside, no big deal down in Thomasville tonight over Thomas County Central. The Eagles now 7-0, 47-7 the final. They are on a roll. They host Houston County next week. Warner Robins, they're pretty good too, you know. They're now 5-2 after the shutout win over Northside Columbus tonight in Warner Robins. 42-0 the final there. All right, Jones County now 4-4 on the season. They beat Woodland 14-7. Baldwin all over Howard, no surprise there. They are now 6-1. They host Veterans next week. The Braves are very, very good. Perry all over Rutland tonight, 38-7. They are now 5-2. They host Peach County next week. West over the Patriots over Crisp tonight in Albany by the score of 20-6. Washington County, the Golden Hawks are now 5-2. They have won 4 in a row now over Glen Hills tonight, who are now 0-7. 53-0 is the final score there. 38-36. Tell you what, Bleckley County's got a pretty good team there for Sam Bars, who is retiring at the season's end. They host Swainsboro next week after their win tonight in Augusta. 19-6 the final score. Dodge County over East Lawrence. They are now 4-3. And also Dublin, no problem in Swainsboro over the Tigers. 48-14 the final there. And Dublin hosts Dodge County next week. Putnam County, the War Eagles all over Monticello, 55-38 tonight. They are now 6-2 on the season. They are at Pike County next week. The Pirates lost tonight to Morgan County by the score of 21-7. Also tonight, Wilcox County, no surprise down in Ashburn and Turner County. They beat the Rebels 27-0. Wilcox County now 8-0 on the year for Mark Ledford. They are rolling. Hawkinsville, good win there for Cam Black and the Red Devils at Bobby Gentry Stadium tonight. 30-0 is the final score over Macon County in a Region 4 single-A game. And also, you've got FPD by the score of 49-6 over Southwest Atlanta Christian. How about that? Win really locks up that playoff appearance for the Vikings. They are now 6-2 after a 3-game winning streak, and they host Landmark Christian next week. Great win for them. All right, quickly to recap our big games that we had, highlights of tonight. We had Stratford all over Mt Vernon 48-25. Lamar County with a 34-0 win over Southwest. West Lawrence in a big game over Central 26-20. Westside 48, Veterans 21. And our game of the week tonight was a pretty good game, defensive game, with Peach County beating Mary Persons by the score of 18-3. That's our show for tonight. Thank you for being with us. We're back next week for more high school football highlights. For all of us at 41 NBC, good night.